Our new platform for real estate investors is so exciting. And we've got a couple people already jumping in and using it, including ourselves, and one more joining us as kind of a pre-launch. As we do, one of the things that's really standing out to me is that, when we're talking about CRM or automation, when you're the end user, who cares about how fancy it is? All we care about is that it's easy to use, that we can track our KPIs, and that one seller, like every single potential seller, every single potential property that we're looking at, moves through the pipeline without us having to remember anything or keep track of tags or anything. We just want the system to work. So what I'm going to do is show you some benefits one by one. So I'm just going to feature one today, for example. Otherwise, I feel like it just gets too much and I don't want to do that. But I'm so excited about so many of the things that it does. One of the things being this underwriting submission form. Once a new lead comes in and we've either talked to the seller, we've gone and checked out the property and we're like, okay, yes, we want to dig deeper into this. We've either got an LOI out there or we're going to submit a contract or we're about to do, wherever underwriting lies in your process. This one simple form has just made it so much easier. So win or lose, as soon as a property is looked into by the person who does the underwriting on potential projects, it is so simple to actually, as soon as the sales team says, hey, we're going to go further on this, the underwriter actually gets an email with a link to this form. So it says like, hey, we're going to proceed on this. So even if I'm the one who's the acquisitions manager and I'm the one who does the underwriting, thank goodness that I know that as soon as I say, yes, we want to buy it, I don't have to remember every time, like, what happens next. I'm, doing other things and in other stages on other properties. So this really does the work for me. I get an email and the link comes to this form. So when I get to it, win or lose, we want to fill this out because it's going to help the contact take the next step. So go ahead and we have to enter the phone number as it matches with the contact. And I'll tell you too, the email that comes, it says, here is the phone number that you need to enter in. So copy and paste it. So by now I've copied it and I've pasted it into that one field. And then we say we either want to fill it or kill it. So let's do kill first. Boom, it says lost reason. We pick it and it automatically sets the opportunity as lost and it marks the reason for the loss and it documents it. So if we want to fill it, then we just want to say like, what's the exit strategy? We're not going to do a double close. Let's just say we're going to fix and flip it. So maximum price, $150. So somewhere there is document. I'm usually looking at a sheet of paper or a spreadsheet that tells me this is how much we can offer. And then the estimated profit, I want to take that off my documentation as well. I need to use commas. Project folder link. So usually there's some kind of drive link. And so I'll put that in there. And then estimated repair costs. So there are some fields that are absolutely mandatory because imagine if we're filling it, we need to know all this. The underwriter should know all these things. So if let's say there's $40,000 in repair cost, estimated financing costs, let's say it's a couple points, well, it's $2,000. It's definitely not a couple points on the project. So estimated holding costs, again, this comes from a spreadsheet. So this is if it's zero, put zero if you've got all the cash, but usually we've got some kind of number in here for the holding costs. Purchase underwriting assumed financing terms. So this underwriting assumes a loan, a 90% loan at 10% interest only payments and 10% loan at 18%. Pay at closing of sale. And then the purchase closing costs, enter that in. So a lot of times we pay for the closing costs. So just kind of enter in what that is. Again, there should be some spreadsheet that you've got for it. So when we sell it or refinance it, what are the closing costs there? And then any other costs. Excuse me. So if there are no more costs other than that, we just enter zero. And then county records. So in order to do one of these, we do have to pull the county records. So by the time I'm filling this out, I would have completed that. So let's just, let's make up a number. So 955 Barbara. This is one we're fixing up right now. Okay, it's not coming up. So let's search right here. Okay, so here's Barbara. And then just copy the URL. And again, this should be part of the underwriting process. So we just enter it in here because everyone else after this stage is going to need this information. And it's going to pre-populate in things like an LOI or a contract. So since the underwriter really has to have all this at the fingertips, this is the perfect time to fill this in. So tax parcel, legal description. And then we don't have that, so we're just going to skip it. You can see these three things are absolutely required because everybody needs that. A project photo link, if there is, if there is one, just enter it right there. If there's a property details, for example, we have folders, I'm sure you do too, but we have like a Drive folder or a Dropbox folder with all the information about the property. So we would drop that link right in here. Also, it will say current. So if there's a current value, then it will show what that value is, and you can just copy and paste it and put in there or just leave it. Yeah, so like here it's empty, but if it needs updating, then do it. So if this is populated, then you don't have to update it if it's correct. So if it's on market, there's a spot for that. Again, all this is going to help the team further down the road. There are emails that are pre-populated with some of these links. Updated ARV. So here again, it'll say what the current ARV is. I haven't entered anything in under my contact number, so under this test number, so it doesn't have anything in there. So if that's not on there, then make sure you put in what you think the ARV is, and then a link to the comps if it's not there. So before this step, usually there is a comp or CMA form that actually, as soon as you need comps, you just say, I need, you tag it, or there's a form that requests comps to make sure that the person pulling them has the information that they need. And I'll show that in a different video. So then when they submit it, there will be a current value here. So if they use the form to submit the comps, which as soon as they're sent that form, then they're linked to a form to submit the comps to make everything easy and in one spot. So, and then it shows who the comps were submitted by if they did submit it. So then your name, underwriter notes, this is a test. Normally I would give additional info. Discovered in this stage, and then hit submit. And what happens is the next thing happens. So the acquisitions lead will take it and run with it. So again, if you've got a dedicated underwriting person and a separate person who does acquisitions, then as soon as this is submitted, it goes to acquisitions, and then they get the information with instructions on what to do next. And your team is going to know what to do next anyway, but they're going to love the fact that they're going to get an email documentation with all this information. So it's at their fingertips. I mean, imagine just in this step, by entering all this information in, when the acquisitions person is looking up the information, what happens next? And then they're able to submit an LOI with all this information pre-populated. It's pretty magical. So there are little nuggets like this. This is just one of many things that I'll be showing you that this system has. And if you have any questions or you want us to hook you up, just let us know.